Well, every day I get to sneak in a ride, I think, wow, the Indian summer is ending. And then I get up the next day and it's still, you can still get a couple of rides in here. And then I go for a ride and I'm freezing and I think, did I really enjoying this as much as I think I am? And then when I finally get the last little bit of the ride on the way home, I think, wow, I stole a day. It's like stolen hours of your life. We are really coming up on the end of this Indian summer that we had, and the leaves are still on the ground. There's still a few in the trees. Every once in a while you pass a tree that's still got some leaves. But as always, we're waiting for it to go to 40 degrees. It should be another hour or so. We'll get all the work done on the farm, and we'll be riding around. Thank God we got the heated gloves and the heated jacket. We are making good use out of them today. Now, at the end of yesterday's ride, I just unzipped the jivvy bag, put the electric gloves on for the ride home. My hands were cold by the end of the ride, but I'm not going to fool around today. I'm going to put them on when we start the ride. They usually last 3/4 of the ride, and if I put them on the medium setting, they'll last the whole ride. And it makes the difference between enjoying a ride and suffering through. And how many times I've ridden with other people that are just suffering. They're not really enjoying the ride. So I had enough suffering in my life. I don't need to look for any more. So I'm all set. Karen is gearing up to do some cookie baking today. We're in the middle of the holiday season. And we usually do enjoy the holidays to the max. Both Jewish holidays and Christian holidays. And we eat cookies to celebrate both of them. So unfortunately every morning this is what has to come out of the pond. I usually do this before I have my coffee just to get me motivated. Now after yesterday's ride, in the mail came the smaller of the Yamaha emblems, the gel emblems. I took the big one off, put the small one on. I think the small one looks a little better, and Karen agrees. Well, there's zero chance of rain today, so that's a real good thing. Skies are blue, not much wind, which may not have to even edit out some of the wind noise out of the Canon footage. So one more cup of coffee here, and we'll be ready to suit up and get out on the open road. And I see the bride already has her parchment paper out. It means I'll be dreaming of cookies during this ride. So we have a couple more riding days, but we do have some really brutally cold weather coming in, and I'll get Dale's things done then. I'll get my 101 paint test on the new paint, and actually maybe get some of the parts painted on the Mt09. But this is the thing that makes just a little bit more enjoyable, especially early in the morning, the ride out. The ride out is when it's really, and the ride back, but the gloves have been serving me well, and after this is the 3rd full year, so I assume sooner or later the batteries are going to go, and then when they do go, I'm going to see if I can put these in. And they fit, they physically fit. I just don't know because this has a controller on it. See, here's what happens. You have 4 settings on this, so you can make them. And this is the warmest setting. So what I did, I circled this setting here, because this usually when the mid setting 2, it usually lasts about 4 hours, and even then on a ride home your hands are nice and warm.
It's not interfering with school because they'll meet you.
So when I get back, she's already baking cookies, but I want to get out on the open road. And here in the month of December, it's like playing with the house's money when you can get a ride like this. Even a ride where the roads are a little slippery or there's still some leaves on them, doesn't matter at all. It's still a stolen hour ride. What makes this time of year so much fun to ride is because the scenery is changing by the day. Roads that used to have orange leaves on the trees now have orange leaves on. Look at the leaves on the road in this picture. And it can be challenging. They sneak up on you. And this is where the MT09 is really comfortable. Back roads, a little bit slippery traction. It has that lightweight feel, a nimble feel. You can avoid potholes and spots in the road, dead animals, whatever's in the middle of the road. Super nimble handling. Also, this time of year, you get to use your traction control, sometime when you don't want to use it, and we always get to use the quick shifter. And there have been a few times that I've had to use that ABS, and I'm amazed how good it works. Now, Jose tried to talk me into this years ago, and I poo-pooed it. Jose was right. Now, when we visited Karen's cousin in Arizona, in Phoenix, she said every day is exactly like the day before. Every day is a sunny day. Well, this part of the country, there really aren't 2 days alike. And I kind of like it that way. Now, on a day like today, when there's no wind blowing and the lakes in the area, of which there are many, they make beautiful photography. You can see the trees and houses and everything reflecting into the lake. Makes a great background for your computer. Now, because a lot of the roads in this area have houses on the side of them and they're populated, every once in a while you see somebody walking a dog or something, that having the quiet exhaust system on his bike, it's priceless. So much better than having a loud bike in this area. Now, as I'm taking pictures today and looking at the bike from every possible angle I could look at it, I kind of agree with Karen that the smaller little nose Yamaha gel sticker looks better than the big one. We'll save the big one for, well, for our next MT09. Now I've got over 1,000 miles on the lowered forks, and for all purposes, it suits my riding style, especially on these back roads, perfectly. Now, because the area is still a little scenic, I got to shoot a lot of pictures, work on my photography skills a little bit today, which are limited, but I do work on them every day. One of the things I personally enjoy on every ride here is looking at some of these back communities that are off the beaten path, and some of these, you wonder how these roads in the winter must be treacherous. All little hills and valleys, and they're pretty slippery too. Even this time of year, they're slippery. And that's why I just love having the flexibility of the Mt09, the traction control, the ABS, all of that stuff, and the Michelin 5 tires. On these back roads, priceless. Now, about 2 hours into the ride, I was just thinking that battery in the jacket is going to need to be switched over, but it warmed up enough I didn't even bother switching the battery today. And as I'm doing my photography thing, I'm picturing how this bike's going to look with the shiny silver wheels with all the casting flaws taken out of the spokes. I can't wait. It's coming soon. Now, earlier this week, I took the Mt09 back to my old neighborhood down in the Jersey City, Secaucus area, an industrial area with trains and trailer trucks, and we went to see my old drag strip and whatever. And believe me, I'm so glad to be back in this area. And one of the things I usually do when I'm riding and just cruising around like this, and especially in this area, I start dreaming about other things I'd like to do to this bike, customize it, make it my own, the paintwork I'm going to be doing, a few other accessories that I want to add. I know some people are pretty adamant about they don't like the styling of the Mt09. In the beginning, I wasn't crazy about it, but the performance was so good, I didn't care. But now I'm kind of getting used to it. It's the devil I know. And what a great feeling it is to be out on a bike like the Mt09 and not even have another vehicle in your field of vision. I didn't run into a single motorcycle today. I guess it was too chilly up here. And it's a lot colder up here than it is back in Rutherford. And as this day went on, I just was remembering one of the things about the bike I always try to mention to people is when you look at the seat, it looks real thin in the back where the passenger sits, but it's not real thin where the driver sits. And I don't ever sit in the passenger seat, so I don't care. Now, over the 10,000 miles, I've explored all the suspension settings. And when I've had the bike really stiff, basically past the mid-range, the seat still was very comfortable. And it's just uncanny how good the seat is on this bike. And one of the little upgrades I've ordered, I don't have it yet, is a little dashboard clock. I have them on all the other bikes. Digital, that has much bigger numbers than the stock. And it's because I don't like to take my eye off the road for too long looking at the time. And because I'm always working within a time limit that I like to be back at a certain time, having the bigger numbers of a big digital clock, by the way, they're on Amazon for about $7. And there's 3 or 4 different models. They all look pretty good. And my friend Carl asked me one day, how do you know which bike you're going to ride? Well, you know what? Because he's got more bikes than I have. I go out to the garage, I look at, and the Mt09 has a way of drawing you in and say, ride me today. Don't poop on my Mt09. Try to take a picture and the birds were pooping on my bike already. Well, I got my exercise for the day. It's time to turn the bike around and head back to good old Rutherford, see how Karen's cookies are coming out. Tonight we're supposed to go out and look at the Christmas tree decorated houses. Our town usually has an award for, I don't know, the most lights or the most electricity you can burn or whatever. We're never going to win it though. You just finished the cookies?
Red velvet cookies.
And you cleaned up?
Mostly.
Mostly. That means I got to do dishes. Ah, back from a ride, I got to do dishes. But I have cookies somewhere in there. So we snuck in another ride right at the end of this Indian summer, and I don't know what to say. Thank you, Electric Loves. Thank you, John Botnia. Thank you, everything. That made it a lot more pleasant than without it, that's for sure. And you know, you can still go on these rides and freeze, but it's a lot nicer when it just takes the edge off. Anyway, hey, I hope you enjoyed sharing this ride with us. I hope you're home drinking coffee, decorating your Christmas tree, doing whatever you do in a nice warm environment. I'm going in to have cookies and coffee. So this is the main thing when you get back from a freezing cold ride. The bride already has the coffee brewing. And what kind of cookies are these? Red velvet?
Miles' favorite.
Miles' favorite. What about me? Now that's good. Those cookies and an Mt09 and a cup of coffee. What else could anybody want? So later that night we got in a car and checked out what's going on in the town of Rutherford. So Karen is checking out all our glowing lights here on our porch.
Oh, it's beautiful.
How do you like it? It's good? Santa Claus is coming. Better bring me another Mt09. Well, our neighborhood is starting to look a lot like Christmas here. And of course, we wish your family a Merry Christmas from our family. And downtown Rutherford's decorated like Bedford Falls, and it's a wonderful life. This is a great time of year. Great time of year. We enjoy riding through the neighborhood, checking out the decorations, checking out what's going on. This is the main street in Rutherford right now, and we are in the peak of the holiday season. Hey, Karen and I really do enjoy looking at all the decorations. Rutherford, they really do overdo it. A lot of people overdo it. Well, overdoing Christmas is just one of our family traditions too. Karen loves to decorate, bake cookies. I like to work on my motorcycle and ride as long as this Indian summer is going to last. And I'm hoping it's going to last tomorrow. But you never know when you wake up that first day that there's going to be ice on the roads or snow or whatever. But in the meantime, we'll take every one of these rides we can get. And we'll try to wear that Mt09 out. Although I know in the end, the Mt09 is going to win. Anyway, I hope you did enjoy sharing this. We try to post something up every day. Something interesting, some paint work, some custom bike work. But the biggest thing is try to have some fun. So if you enjoyed the video, I hope you share it with your friends. And of course, I hope, most of all, that we'll see you tomorrow. And thanks again for watching.